just about the most recent draft. As you all know, the draft is very important to NFL teams. It's the lifeblood of an NFL franchise, very important. I went back and I just took a look at the last two Super Bowl winners. And I don't like to mention it, but the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you look at them, they had five first-round selections that were starters on the Super Bowl team. In addition, of their 22 starters, 17 of the 22 starters were drafted by the Steelers. I went back in another year, looked at the Giants, New York Giants. Of their 22 starters, 13 were drafted by the Giants. Keep in mind, that doesn't include somebody like Eli Manning, who was drafted by the Chargers and traded to the Giants, or somebody, the running back, who was also drafted by somebody else and traded. So you can see it's very, very important to an NFL team, and it's the reason why teams spend so much time on research and analysis. I think George Young said, over-analysis leads to paralysis. In this case, there is a lot of time spent on research and analysis. I'll talk about just some highlights on a couple of players. I'm not going to go into each of them, but I'll talk about Alex Mack. Alex Mack, 6'4", 311 pounds. He was the top of the center class. I think if you looked at any of the people that rate that stuff, he was the first team all-conference for 3 consecutive years. One thing I didn't know, he was the 2008 recipient of the Dratty Award. I didn't know what the Dratty Award is, but the Dratty Award is college football's academic version of the Heisman Trophy. So not only did he succeed on the field in terms of being an all-conference player, but he succeeded off the field. Again, the core characteristics that we were preaching earlier: smart, tough, competitive. And when you think about it, going against some of the 3-4 defenses we faced in Pittsburgh and Baltimore with the big nose guards and playing in November, December, you need to have a solid offensive line. We're hopeful Alex has the ability to play guard. He can play center. He's athletic. He's versatile. So we're very excited about him. Our second-round pick, Brian Robisky, Bill indicated, former Browns ball boy. I don't think that's the only reason Eric selected him, but I'm sure they had some conversations about it and compared technique with being a ball boy. Local product from Ohio State, another academic All-American. Don't think we're trying to win the Quiz Bowl here, but we are looking for players that are smart and are intelligent. He was the Paul Warfield Award winner given to the team's outstanding receiver. So you can see, kind of consistent with our profile of players that we're looking for through the draft. What about this season? The 2009 schedule's been released. We have 2 primetime matchups this year. Last year we had 5 primetime matchups. And while last season didn't go as well as we wanted it to, I think when the Browns were on primetime, they played well. In fact, the Monday night game when we beat the world champion Giants was a tribute to the Browns fans who stuck with us and almost got the team so fired up that they went out and played at such a high level against the Giants. So that was good. We have a Monday night home game this year against the Ravens. We have a Thursday night home game against the Steelers, and really waiting to get to mini camp, flip into training camp, and before you know it, the season will be upon us. Lastly, I want to give you a quick update on the NFL labor situation. This year, we have a salary cap in place. It's a maximum that each team can spend on players, and this year it's $123 billion. $123 billion you can spend on your players. In addition, players get $25 million per club in benefits. These are things like pension, insurance, a variety of benefits that accrue to the players. So each club spends about $150 million on players. You take that times 32, and you're talking about nearly $4.8 billion that are paid to players. Next year, there's no salary cap in place currently. That means there's no maximum salary, there's no minimum salary. This current year, I talked about the maximum of 123. Each team has to spend 108. Next year, all bets are off. You can spend as much or as little as you want. And that's some pressure on the teams in terms of how they're going to do. Going to the players, it goes from 4 years of free agency to 6 years. So a player who thinks it's going to be free and sign a big contract after that will now become a restricted free agent. And you can still sign with another team, but the team would have to give up a first and a third-round pick. So you can see that there's real pressure on both sides to get a deal and to get a deal done. With the new head of the Players Association, we're hopeful that negotiations can commence soon on a deal that will work for both sides. The key point I wanted to leave you with today is that we have 2 more years of football. This year being a capped system, next year being an uncapped system. So we're guaranteed 2 more years of football out there.